podcast. Come take this walk with me.
Welcome back to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the brother Dr. Jason Branch, a show where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, make room for who we're trying to become. That is you. You're in the right place at the right time because today, coming to you live from the lake that's upon Gator University in the basement, Battlecast Studios. We're in a private lake today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see where we going and what we doing. It's a beautiful, crisp autumn night on the lake. And today's show, we're going to be in the basement for a little bit. And for those who don't know, allow me to introduce what the basement is. The basement is a part of Three Parallels. The first level of Three Parallels is who we were, who we are becoming. The other is your house. Whose house? My house. Whenever you hear me say whose house, you respond with my house. And when it's your house, you get to make the rules. So if you think about life itself, it's a house. We get to make the rules. So the rules are live life on your own terms, not the terms of other people or their stuff. So we're on a walk, we're on a journey at night at the lake. Because today's show, I'm going to talk about an experience or experiences that I've had for the past about 2.5 years that came to a head not too long ago. And I got to share it because my experiences, my story, my journey, my truth can impact others because we all have stories, journeys, experiences, things that may happen to us, for us, by us, everything else in between. I'm just choosing to share mine in this place and space. So if it resonates, congratulations, boo boo. If it doesn't, come back later. If it does and it helps you, give it away. So please like, share, subscribe to the podcast. So let's dive in. I ain't got a lot of time. We don't need a lot of time because I'm coming to you from Battlecast Studios, which is in the heart of the Honeycomb Hideout. With that being said, I got a couple announcements, not long, but know that the mastermind, master classes, they're coming and they're here. So I have a new mastermind coming, brand new, this Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 East. I'm sorry, 10 o'clock. It's gonna be 10 o'clock on Friday. 9 o'clock is Gator Talk. Ooh, I'm still learning myself. Okay. So it's gonna be 9 o'clock Gator Talk, 10 o'clock, gonna be the master mind session because I'm taking us on a journey, and wherever we end up is where we're supposed to be. That's where we're supposed to go. This episode is brought to you by all of our amazing sponsors: J Branch and Associates, Winged Wolf Wellness, I Am House. We are here. We are connected. So let's dive in. Why are we at the lake? I'm glad you asked. Because when I moved to California a few years back, I'm where we live. I'm inundated with a few lakes or bodies of water. And there's one particular lake that I really like. Um, I like it the most because it has the most shade. It's the most quiet and clean. And I'm usually here at night, sometimes during the day, but usually at night. And I've noticed a couple years ago when I came to this lake to get a walk in, me and Mia and I would go, the family would go. Anytime we would go, we would be accosted by some guy on this golf cart. I mean, every time, clockwork. So it happened so much. We started to recognize like this person has a hard time with people being on this property that's considered private, I might add. The signs say private, but there's nothing around it that lets you know or let you think that it's private outside of a sign. It's not gated. It's not, a compound. We're not trespassing, outside of the sign because this lake is designed for the people that live here. Now, mind you, although it's designed for the people that live here don't care who they are or not, in my humble opinion, because everybody and their mama be out there. But this whole agency began this housing division started to encourage or enforce residents to wear a badge. And as these residents are wearing badges, some wear them, some don't. We don't know who lives there and who doesn't. Again, it's wide open in public to me, regardless of the signs. So, us being accosted, me being accosted would just happen every single time. So much so, I stopped going to this lake at one point in time. And then it's like, I can't allow somebody to tell me not to be on God's green earth, especially if I'm not doing anything outside of climbing a gate, or I'm not doing any of those things. I'm walking from the street to the sidewalk to the lake. Like that's how easy it is to go from one place to the next. And again, the entire neighborhood, nothing is gated. So to me, this is a free country and I can roam any way I want. This is an example of what I call black privilege. Black privilege is the ability to act as though you have the privilege of a white person. A lot of white folk, hey, white people, if you're not taking advantage of your privilege, you are doing a disservice to yourself. Okay. So as a person of color, as a black male specifically, there are a lot of privileges I don't get access to. For example, just walking down the street, minding my damn business, somebody gonna say something. Somebody gonna ask somebody. Somebody gonna ask something. Somebody's gonna do something. That's the privilege of being a person of color in these United States. Somebody got to say something. And usually that person does not look like us or me. I just want to talk about it. So on this lake, getting accosted, where it happened so much, Mia decided, yeah, I'm good. I ain't going back to that lake. We're not gonna take the boys because this guy, we'll call him Jerry for the day. This guy named Jerry would always come and interrupt whatever we're doing to tell us we need to leave. So we would have lunch at the lake. Hey man, y'all gotta go. And we're like, all right, we'll leave in a minute. And he will sit there and wait for us until we leave. Happened with the family, happened with Mia, happened by myself. It just was a constant thing. And it happened so frequently, it just caused a disturbance for me and my entire family where I would get anxiety going to this lake. So here we are, 3 years in, and I'm anxious every time I go to the lake because I know it's only a matter of time before Jerry shows up on the golf cart, causing a disturbance himself. Because Jerry did not care who was on the lake at a certain extent. Let me break that down. What I noticed, because I'm watching Jerry just like Jerry watching me, I'm trying to see where he's coming from because it's a huge lake. So if he gets past me, I got at least a good 10, 15 minutes before he comes back around the lake. So I started watching him as much as he watched me. And what I started seeing was his his resistance to people being there was subjective, meaning it depends on who he came encounter with, who would get a pass and who wouldn't. And more often than not, I never got a pass or rarely got a pass, but other people did, whether they had a badge on or not. So I noticed the inconsistency, the incongruence. That was enough for me to decide me and Jerry are going to have a conversation because this is not something that applies to all, it applies to some. And for me, that small window of inconsistency was enough for me to decide, you know what? You're gonna have to come in front of the congregation, Jerry. You're gonna have to, because this isn't fair. This isn't right. And that's part of my ADHD, which I didn't even know. Fairness and justice is a really big deal to me because of how my mind works. I didn't know that. I know it now. So I'm actually preparing for battle. So imagine Rocky or Creed working together to get ready for Jerry when he rolls up on me, because that's what he does. And for a while, I'm waiting on Jerry because I've decided we're going to have a conversation because this is just not fair how I'm treated, how people around me are treated. Because the one thing to ask somebody to leave is the other thing to have an attitude or be a butt about it. And Jerry was a butt about it. And I figured there's something going on, possibly in Jerry's basement, that allows him to come at me or other people in this way, in this manner, in this fashion, outside of just doing your job. Because doing your job is one thing. Being a butt, that's extra. That don't come with the job. That's extra. So my gut says something happened with Jerry. And I don't know what it is, but I'm curious to know and I'm willing to get to the heart of things. So I start showing up at the lake intentionally, anxiety and all, to have a conversation along with, a little prayer, meditation, relaxation. And the more I came prepared and ready, Jerry didn't show up. Just didn't see him. Didn't see him. And this went on for a few months where my anxiety began to go down because I didn't see him and I felt as though he was gone. I think he might have been on break because uh one day I went out to the lake at night, got a little late night snack. And I'm across the lake, got my late night snack, and guess who rolls up on the other side of the lake? Like he can't get to me where he is, and it take him at least 5 to 8 minutes. Again, I've been doing my research. 5 to 8 minutes to get to me. So I got plenty of time to finish my late night snack and move on about my business. But Jerry's on the other side of the lake and he sees me sitting on the bench eating my little snack. And he didn't say a word, but he pointed his flashlight at me. So now he's shining his flashlight at me across the lake, letting me know, hey, bro, it's time to go. And I'm upset, but I didn't move. I continue eating my snack. There's nothing you can do to me, Jerry. I'm on the other side of the lake, boo boo. You'll be okay. And by the time you arrive, I'll be gone. And I just sat there, continued eating my snack while he flashed the light at me, knowing he had no control. That was that was something for me. So that incident happened, which lets me know we have to have a conversation because I'm exhausted from being accosted by this person who works at the lake, and I'm willing to bet money he doesn't live there. I'm willing to bet. So every week, every time I get an opportunity, I go to the lake. I'm waiting to see Jerry. It just doesn't happen. And then one day I go during the day, and this has been going on for 3 years, y'all. 3 years. I've just dealing with anxiety. I started avoiding the lake. I just don't want to deal with it because I know it's going to be a problem. And I go to this place for peace, and I usually leave disgruntled, upset, because I know there's people here without a badge that can walk around this lake. Depends on who they are, what they look like, in my opinion. Fast forward, I decide I'm gonna do a little work at the lake today. So I go during the day. And I'm like, I'm prepared if Jerry shows up because I'm ready to have a courageous conversation. Now, Spicy J's in the building. What it do, baby? It ain't no podcast if I ain't on it. Spicy J is in the building because I want to go back to a backstory of how all this came up of me being okay with using my voice, using my gift, speaking my truth, speaking up and speaking out about things that I don't like, I'm not a fan of, and I'm not okay with. But I didn't do that. Talking about three parallels, who we were, who we are becoming. The old version of me was taught and told, you speak when you're spoken to. You don't have an opinion, I'll give you one. You need to be seen and not heard. And from childhood to adulthood, that stuff carries. You keep it. So there's a lot of us adults, especially you that's listening now, have a hard time speaking up and speaking out for yourself because if I was taught and told that as a child and I never removed that belief or that ideology or identity from my basement, and therefore it's still there. And every now and then when I'm faced with a very difficult option or opportunity, I may not engage or indulge, which connects to why I avoided going to the lake because I wasn't breaking any laws. It wasn't enforced beyond this guy on the cart. And I had a couple interactions before we could have a conversation. But going back to my past, this is early in my career where, the house I lived at, there was a mailman who would always walk across my yard. He would, because I had a house on a little catty corner, they call it. So he would walk across my yard to save himself time to get to the next house. And it bothered me. Like, why is this person walking in my yard? I ain't that kind of person, but at the same time, there is a level of respect, boo boo. And I felt as though the mailman did not respect me based off of him walking through the yard, didn't ask permissions, did not care. And I had to do some work on myself, work on my therapist. What up, ho? It wasn't even ho at the time, but it sounded good. And I'm shouting out ho because ho is present now. So I had to start doing some work on me to learn how to advocate for myself, to speak up, to speak out, to share the things that I don't like, that I'm not okay with. Because as a black man in these United States, more often than not, me speaking up and speaking out could put me at risk of something. It's a real thing, fam. Some of y'all get it, some of y'all don't. I like to expose. So therefore, if I've had the family background, speaking when you're spoken to, and that carries on, then I got society background. You're a black man, your voice, your truth, who you are doesn't matter. So I got layers upon layers of beliefs around me that my voice, my presence, my gift does not count, does not matter. And I had to work through that. And as I worked through that, I got the courage to let the mailman know, hey, excuse me, sir. Can I rap with you for a minute? He said, yeah, man, what's going on? I'm, making these rounds, doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, that's cool and everything, brother. But I have a hard time with you walking across my yard to do your job. He said, oh, my bad. I didn't think it was a problem. I said, yeah, it wasn't a problem until it was. And it was a problem from the beginning because there wasn't a conversation. There was not permission. You just found your way through my yard, and I'm not okay with it. And from that conversation, he didn't like the boundary that I set. However, he respected it because he didn't walk in my yard again. And that was the moment things began to shift for me in my life, personally and professionally, where I start speaking up and speaking out. Just want to share my truth, no judgment, no shame or guilt. Because when I had that conversation with him, it allowed me to know that I could have more conversations that may be hard, may be uncomfortable, but they need to be had. So he had an attitude for a little while. Then he got over himself. Guess what? He ain't walking my yard no more because I set a boundary. Spicy J has left the building. Back to Jerry with the golf cart. So I thought I was ready to have a conversation. Jerry rolls up on me. Hey, man, you're going to have to get up out of here, dog. I'm like, hey, man, I just need a few more minutes, dog. He said, well, okay, cool. And he sat there and waited, and it was so uncomfortable. And I said, hey, man, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah, what's going on? I said, why do you do this? Why you come at me like this, man? I've been over here for a while. You do this every time. He said, man, I'm just doing my job, dude. You can't be here. It's private lake, blah, blah, blah. I said, but there ain't no gates or nothing around here. He said, yeah, I get it, but you gotta go. And I'm like, nobody's here, man. It's 10 o'clock at night. Nobody's here. Why are you doing this? He said, what are you doing? And I said, man, I'm just a little prayer, meditation. I'm chilling. I ain't bothering nobody. Can you just leave me be? And he was like, all right, man, but if you get caught out here, if the police catch you out here, man, it's gonna be a problem. They give you fines, blah, blah, blah. Again, I've been going to this like about 3 years. I ain't never seen Popo. Ever. 3, 4 years. So he let me live. And from that moment of letting me live, he gave me even more room of, you know what? We're going to get to a place where I can roam this lake without any issue, problem, or concern. This has been a long journey. So those moments happened a couple of times where I just asked, hey, man. And what I perceived was Jerry is on a mission to keep people off this lake. He probably has no idea who's who, what's what, don't remember half these folks because he's accosted me countless times. And I'm pretty sure he has no idea about the person because it's not a person, it's position. So as this continued, we finally had a chance to have a conversation. So I'm at the lake during the day doing my thug thizzle. And I said, if Jerry shows up, we're going to have a conversation and I'm not leaving until we have an understanding. It was a progression, family. Sometimes we have desires and wishes to change and grow and think it's going to change immediately. No, I've been carrying this weight as long as I can remember. For many of us, same place and space. So I sit down, I'm working. This is during the day. And I see Jerry. And usually when I see him, I get ready, I get up, I pack my stuff, get ready, start moving out. This time I dug my heels in. And I'm waiting for him to roll up on me. He rolls up on me. Hey man, you can't be out here. I said, okay, cool. Allow me to introduce myself, man. My name is Jason Branch, and I've been coming out to this lake for a few years now. And I don't know if you know me, remember me, or anything, but I would like to have a conversation with you about this. He's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about, man? You need to go. And I said, oh, slow down, bro. Can we just have a conversation? He said, all right, what's going on? I said, man, I've been coming here for 3, 4 years. And I see all different types of people walking around. Some folks got the badge on, some people don't, but you're constantly kicking me off the lake, and I'm not okay with it. And he's like, okay, so. And I said, yeah, it's private, but it's public. There's no gates. There's nothing holding me back or holding it down. There's nothing out here that prevents me from being out here or me doing anything egregious to get on the lake. Like I'm not breaking in. There's no gates here. So why am I accosted about it? He said, man, hold on, slow down. Get that bass out your voice. Hold on, man, you getting a little too. And I said, I'm getting a little too what? He said, yeah, man, you getting a little piped up, a little emotional about this. I said, man, honestly, I am emotional about it. And what I'm sharing with you, this is my emotional intelligence, and I want to communicate effectively. Yes, I have some emotions around it, but let me communicate effectively that this is not okay with me. And let me explain why. And he took a moment. And we had, I mean, this conversation went to a crescendo. It's at the top where, you know, we're both raising our voices, but it's still respectful. And I'm raising my voice to be heard, and he's raising his voice for authority. And I lowered my voice to let him know I'm not a threat, but I'm not leaving, my guy. I'm not leaving. And I'm going to continue to come back. So, because this is God, Green Earth, this is wide open, and this is where I go to recharge and fill my cup, I'm not leaving. I don't care who's driving the damn golf cart. Because there's other people that go past me and don't say a word. They speak to me. You're the only one. And he said, well, I can't control what other people do, blah, blah, blah. I'm just doing my job. I said, I get it, man. But I'm curious of why do you do your job this way? I brought my family up here. You kicked us out. I'm hanging out with my wife up here. You kicked us out. You kick me out every other week. Do you even notice that I'm the same guy? Nah, man, I ain't. I don't even be paying attention, man. I'm sorry. I'm just doing my job. And I said, okay, cool. I'm curious to know how come, I'm accosted, but other people, they may get a pass. He's like, I don't get nobody a pass, man. I treat everybody the same. I said, that's not accurate because I've been doing this research for a few years now, and it depends on who it is. But for whatever reason, for me, it's consistent every time, and I respect that. However, it's not fair because other people get to hang out here and do what they do. And it hit him at that moment of, wait a minute, he may have a point. And I continued to share. I was able to bring myself down. He was able to bring himself down. We were able to hear each other. And I shared my truth and my experience. And he recognized that I'm the same guy that he's been kicking off this lake for about 3 or 4 years. Never put two and two together, but he did at that day. And he was honest and he apologized for his approach. And I said, just curious, what made you be so, RoboCop-ish about this shit? Like, you got stock in this place? Like, what is it about this place that you are on 25,000 about? Because I know you probably don't live around here, do you? Well, that ain't none of your business, bro, blah, blah, blah. So we just went back and forth. And eventually he shared his truth. And his truth was, man, I would love to just let you hang out here and do your thing, but when I was lenient before, my boss, man, they came down on me pretty hard. And when they came down on me pretty hard, they let me know, like, if I continue to allow people to be out here without the badges, that doesn't work here, I could lose my job. And I understood his perspective and he understood mine. And the conversation shifted where he said, man, I appreciate you stopping me. I appreciate you having this conversation because I didn't look at this from your perspective. I only saw one perspective, and that perspective was limited because you're right. This is a free country. Although this is a private space, this is a free country, and you make a lot of great points that I can't knock. I just gave him facts. He said, I can't knock it. So, let's compromise. And I said, I'm with it. And the compromise was when I'm around here, man, I'm praying, I'm meditating. Don't bother me. Speak and keep moving, vice versa. And, he shares, hey, man, out of respect, if I stop you, just know, hey, this is private, but you can go on about your business. And that conversation opened the doors for so many other things. And me and Jerry became thick as thieves. It was kind of like Tuesdays with Maury. If you're not familiar, check out the book Tuesdays with Maury. And Tuesdays with Maury is about this guy who ends up meeting this guru, this mentor. And every Tuesday they would get together and talk and just build. And that's what it became between me and Jerry. So Jerry then looked at me as someone that he could build with because the conversation we had from, hey, let's compromise, it lasted about 30 minutes before he moved on. But from that conversation, we gave each other some dap. We kind of poured into each other. He said, man, you won't ever have to worry about that again, man. I apologize for my approach. Appreciate you taking a moment to talk to me about this. I will definitely find some balance, but I was moving out of fear. And that fear came out too. other people. So I appreciate you pulling me to the side and having this conversation. And I said, I appreciate you being receptive. Now I don't have to have anxiety every time I come out here anymore because I knew we would get here one day. I didn't know it would take 3 or 4 years, but we're here now. So now I got full access at the lake. And I shared with him, man, I would love for you to be on the podcast. He said, nah, man, I ain't, thanks for letting me know all the things you're doing, man. You're a doctor and you this and you that. But yeah, I ain't really about that life. You know, he out of LA, Compton, grew up, has a story, man, has a story. And over time, he shared his story and I shared mine. And we just got close where I can go to the lake and he's bringing me bottles of water. He's letting me know, hey, man, the wife, anytime, the family, anytime, brother. Anytime. Because of conversation. Because for both of us, we were able to be seen, heard, valued, respected, and understood from having a courageous conversation. That experience changed the both of our lives. We exchanged numbers. He told me, man, anytime you come out, man, I work from morning to about 11 p.m. Anytime you come out, man, shoot me a text. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're around. I love to continue to talk to you. We had a text exchange. We would talk. Anytime I come out, I shoot him a text, let him know, hey man, I'm in the area. And before long, he'll roll by, check on me. I'll check on him. And that's what the relationship has been. And I've been wanting to share this story because it's been the bane of my existence for so long. However, that's what it was. But what it is now is my place of peace and solitude because now I have protection and safety. Now I have access. Now I get a pass, which is rare, but I got it here. And for me, it's more than enough. So I share this story with you to help you go through your three parallels, who you were, who you are becoming in your house, the attic, the living room, the basement. Because once you start peeling back layers, you can see yourself differently, which allows you to see other people differently. I saw him differently, just like he saw me differently. And the person that we saw that was different was connected. And that's who we are now. So I have a few audio excerpts that you get to hear from Jerry yourself. Again, this show is about experiences and healing. And I want you to see the healing experience of the conversations that we had because over time we started to talk and I asked him permission to record. And he said, yeah, you can record as much as you want. Just don't let me know you're doing it. Let's keep it organic. And it's been organic ever since. Fast forward. If you're watching via YouTube, this place may look familiar to some. It may be, familiar. And who I was as a listener, I'm curious. So anything that I see that I listen to on the podcast or that I see, I'm curious to know where it is. And sometimes I go find out. And I know there are people just as curious as I am to go find out these different places and spaces that I talk about. So fortunately, Jerry, I text Jerry. This wasn't too long ago. Text Jerry, man, I'm on my way to the lake, dude. Just want to check out on you, make sure everything good. I'm finna take me a walk. He said, hey man, I'm no longer there. Now he told me this in conversation previously. And he said, I'm no longer there. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, man, moving on to bigger and better things. Let's stay in touch. Keep doing what you do, man. I'm proud. I'm impressed. And I love the work that you're doing. So keep doing it. And whenever you put the episode out, send me a link. I want to check it out, man. Done and done. And to this day, we're still connected. And Jerry's moved on. I don't know where he is in life now. However, we're still connected, and that's enough for me. This episode is about transformation, transition, evolution, challenging, changing, checking, and just doing things we never done in order to get results we never had. I'm now a card carrying member at this lake, and I love having access because I never had it before. That is it. That is all. This is another episode of the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Brother Dr. Jason Branch, show where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, and make room for who we're trying to become. If that is you, you're in the right place at the right time because this show is for healing and helping. Connect with us on this Friday, Gator Talk and a mastermind on Wednesdays. We got the lab, you at Gator University, Three Parallels Podcast playlist, anything that you want, the journal, it's available. Dive in and bring a friend. So this is kind of like when you watch one of those Marvel movies and at the end credits, they then show you a bonus. So your bonus feature is coming right up where you get to hear from Jerry himself. That is it. That is all. Have a great day. Good night. Peace. So I'm with Jerry at the lake, and I just need y'all to hear game. I just need y'all to peep game. All right, you were saying you ain't gonna be long, but go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What was the last thing I did say to you?
Stewardship, putting in, investing.
Right. That's the thing. We got to start save our riches up for heaven. That's what we got to build them up for. So to qualify, obviously, to get there starts down here on earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be kind to people, man. We got to love like God said. And I understand everybody's not lovable,
Yeah.
but I understand what he means when you do love somebody sincerely,
Yeah.
and you have no ulterior motives. It's a real good satisfaction and feeling
Yeah.
when you walk away from it.
Yeah.
And nobody has to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, don't even do anything for anybody to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, that's your reward if you do.
Yeah. So let me ask, because you were finna catch me up on the last conversation we had. What, you had a question?
Okay, yeah. When
All
you
right.
introduced yourself to me, you was telling me you was like a therapist or
Yeah.
psychiatrist,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you're seeing a psychiatrist too, right?
Yes.
And when I heard you talk about that, I went to one of your websites. You was
Yeah.
talking to some lady or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And I said, they call that, what they call that? Wait, don't tell me. It's a word that they call when it's called double. Oh, I can't think of the name, man. My mind escapes me. But anyway, man, it's good to
It's
see
type
you.
of therapy, like couples therapy.
No, it's called. It's redundant.
Okay.
It seems redundant to me. You're a therapist, but you're seeing a therapist.
Yes. So okay, this is good. This is
I
good.
got something to finish with that though.
Okay.
When I recognized who you were and what you were doing and what your plan was, it made me think about, you know what? We're all therapists.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yes.
especially when we speak the truth.
Yes.
To listening ears.
Yes.
They're recognizing that hear it.
That's it.
So basically, you're on the right path. You're in a normal
Yeah.
a setup, man. There, man.
So real quick, this is so good because now with the experience that you and I had, you are able to see things differently. So you see what I saw then of, man, this is open until it's a problem. And if you're moving in that light, it's never a problem. Just like now, you rolled up, hey OG, what up, man? It's not a problem. And you're gonna do what you do and keep moving and everybody good, because I'm gonna be out of here anyway.
But one thing you have to understand is just like how God give us favor, certain people favor.
Yeah.
We as his sons and daughters and have the same spirit, we do the same thing too when we recognize the same spirits.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, I won't be disobedient in doing my job because
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
And it has really nothing to do with you or
Yes,
man.
Sir.
I'm being obedient to him.
Come on.
Because it could be a test, bro. And it's the little things, man, that
Yes.
people don't understand that you do, like staying diligent, staying consistent. Whenever I start getting confused or distracted, I'll say commitment over comfort. Because I want to be comfortable, man. I want everything to be comfortable and ease, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because of
sir.
my flesh.
Yes, sir.
But the commitment is where you grow.
Yeah.
Because that's when you run into opposition, obstacles. And when the devil knows God's getting ready to bless you really big, the attack really comes on you even harder.
Yeah,
so
man.
when crazy things that don't normally happen to you start happening to you,
Yeah.
you can't understand it, God's getting ready to bless you with something.
Yeah.
You just have to stand, man. We have to stand. That's it's easier said than done, but
true.
I like saying it, man, because right now this is like a divine appointment, so I get to hear his message.
Yes.
And he's using it through me.
Yes.
We're just vessels.
Yes, sir. All day long.
So just let him use you, man. And that's the least you can do. He died
These are
for
facts.
you.
These facts.
He gave his blood, brother.
These are facts, man.
Hey, man, we can't repay that, man. We can never.
Yeah.
We don't have to. We don't need to.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a follow-up as well. And because what I hear is, now we're in a place of a compromise. And that's what I wanted initially was a compromise. Because I don't know if you realize how things were in the past, been going on for about 2 years or so.
What's been going on for years?
About where we were before. Previously, we were in the space of, hey man, you need to get on up out of here. It's private lake. No comment. Like, I don't give a shit what you're doing. You gotta go. So that's what it's been. So I went back and connected with Mia, my wife, and we talked about it. I was asking, like, when was the last time we got kicked out of the lake? because that's the last time she came with my boy. So it was all four of us. It was me, my wife, and Cameron and Jay, and we got kicked out by you. And you may not even remember that. That was about
I really don't,
it's about 2 years ago.
because it happens from time to time.
And we were like, okay, we're gonna leave in a moment. And we got the boys there, and you sat there and you waited.
Yes, that's what I'm
You
supposed to
waited.
do. That's the protocol.
Respect, respect. The protocol is still the same, but you and I are having a conversation right now. How is this possible? And you're not telling me, hey man, you need to go. We're having a conversation and letting me know, hey, you gotta go. There's a difference there. There's a difference.
Because that's a different train of thought right now.
Yeah.
And with me, I'm still doing my job. And see, the reason why I was the only one that said it to you, because I'm the only one that does this job around here. The rest of the people that I work with, I don't really know.
Yeah.
They just come here and just ride around in circles. They just play on their phones, and they're not really doing their job. I've been assigned to this property, and it hasn't been by man, it's been by God. Because I was reluctant to come here. 'Cause I'm really not a confrontational person, bro. And this place is very confrontational if you don't choose your words carefully. And I
Respect.
don't argue. Either
Yeah.
we're going to stop or we're going to get physical. I'm from that school, from the era. God brought me here, man. He brought me here to choose my words, to have more self-control, because a man without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. Anybody can enter and come in. Can't give up that power, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes too, people be going through certain things. And one thing I've learned too, when I'm dealing with people, when people want what they want, they're not listening to the truth. They're not going to hear the truth. They're not going to listen to the rules.
At all.
They're going to want what they want. And when you encounter that type of thing, when me personally, when I hear that or discern that, man, I just stop talking and I just start talking consequences, because it seems like most people, that's all they understand is like sometimes pain.
Yeah.
Especially,
Yeah. So being from LA, man, like from that life to this life, what did you have to do to become this version of you where, again, you and I can have a conversation? Because we've bypassed each other for the last 2 years. But now we can have a conversation. And we're pouring into each other every time we connect now.
Well, I grew up in South Central, the original South Central. I graduated from Fremont High back in '78. I never was a gangbanger. I never had. I grew up with no brothers. I grew up with 3 sisters, but I was the oldest, so I had to fight my own battles. I won some, I lost some. But as far as you know how we grew up in our neighborhoods, like you got some guys that want to get into gangbanging. You got some guys that want to call themselves so-called hustlers. Some guys want to get in pimping or whatever. Some guys are into sports, and we know all these guys because they're our friends. We know them from elementary school, and everybody evolved and put on some way. But I never got into gangs because I always looked at guys in gangs as cowards. And then when I was a younger guy, guys that were like weak, when they got older, they started joining gangs. And I remember when they was chumps, and I would look at them and say, "Oh yeah, he's just getting in the gang because he just wants some help and some backup." So I never really respected guys that were in gangs, bro. But there were some guys I did. I knew some killers though that was a gang by themselves. We always have those type of guys, a few of them around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I just never attracted me. I was into sports. I was into everything else. I got into drugs, man. Didn't even have to. I grew up with both parents at the house.
Yeah.
But
What shifted for you?
what the drugs are doing it, getting into it.
Yeah, like you mentioned growing up with both parents, like there's
like,
a connection there.
Well, it's not so much a connection. It was most of a disconnect because, when you out, okay, my dad had to work, man. He had to feed 4 children and wife, and he had a mortgage. So when he came home, he was tired, bro. Because when we work, we have to work. We can't monkey around and be mediocre. So he was tired. So he didn't have time when he came home, maybe to shoot the hoop with me, or throw the baseball, or crafts like that. And when you're a kid, you don't have the wisdom, and you're selfish, and you want what you want. So what happens is you sprinkle out into the streets, and then the streets get a hold to you. My friend's father, some of them, take us fishing and do little stuff like that. But everything evolved, and then, when you're out in the world, everything's a lie. Because you see guys that's got new cars, and you're figuring out how they get it. Most of them, drugs and everything like that. So that's attractive to you.
Yeah.
So I got into that, and I started selling it. And I was selling it on a big scale because I was hooked up with some people.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what God had planned for me. He made me get hooked on my own product. And I stopped selling it because I just wanted to do it. I've always had a job, but I was a functional addict.
Yeah.
But all my money always went to drugs, though. At the end of the week, either I'd be in a hotels or motels with whores for a week or two till the money ran out, and then I could always go home. Mom and dad was always there. I always would would take me, man. And I look back now, I thank God every day that He blessed me with them too, because I was not worthy, man. And I know I disappointed Him before my dad died because he couldn't really talk, and I used to kind of take care of him and stuff. I apologized to him for being an asshole with the son and everything, and I know he heard me because I know he's up there with mom.
Yeah.
So, how you doing, darling? All right. For me to see him again, it qualifies right here on earth, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm focused, man. I'm not letting nobody steal my peace or get in the way of that. Like I say, I fall short from time to time because I'm human every day, but I make sure I repent really fast, man.
Yeah. I'm curious, how did you make that transition, like to, to be out in the streets, to do what you did, and to recover, like being in recovery
I
and
got
not.
tired, man. I went to so many. I'm gonna tell you, I used to go to rehabs time and time again with a sincere intent to really stop. When I would go in these places, man, you give testimonies in there. We call them war stories. When I would hear people war stories, I couldn't wait to use when I would leave every time because it would just remind me, and I didn't even really know I was that sick because I thought I was fine because I didn't bother nobody. I never had to steal. I always worked. Like I said, I was functional, but I was hurting my family because they couldn't do nothing about it, and they knew me like nobody else did. So they knew the true me. I guess they saw the potential that I didn't see in myself. So that was like punching them in the stomach every day,
Yeah.
you know. But eventually, I just got tired, man. Mom's passed. Oh, it's a lot more happened, but I'm gonna make a long story kind of short. My mother passed, and I was taking care of my dad. They was staying in Leroy, right? And I used to take him to church after she passed because he was a deacon. My mother was a deacon, he was a deacon. I didn't go to church. I was taking him to church on Sundays. And one morning I was taking him to church. That's when I was still smoking too. I stopped at a light and got rear end. The guy that rear ended me played for the Rams, right?
Yeah.
So you know what the lawsuit was? Lawsuit because they're insured, they're covered. He played for the Rams. No, he played for the Detroit Lions at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, he played for the Detroit Lions. So I got a pile of money from that, bro. And like my dad had died. We buried my dad like a week before. I got the call from the lawyer that the check was ready.
Yeah.
So I went down to Beverly Hills where the law officer was. Like, you know, you can't get a whole lot of money. You got to order it. But I was able to get I was able to bring home like 10 or 20,000 because I got it out from the bank.
Yeah.
But even that amount of money, you got to order it.
Yeah.
So I got a pile. No, I think I had more than that. I got a pile of cash sitting on the floor in my room. My stomach is boiling because I had just stopped smoking. No, I was still kind of smoking a little bit, but I had stopped a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was getting those. Remember, I had all that cash, and then man, I was thinking about. I said to myself, I got all this money. I know what I'm gonna do if I start. I'm not gonna stop till it either kills me or I'm gonna die. So I got to run in church, man. It was like a Friday. I got the money. That Sunday, I ran the church. This church I used to go to when I was married in Little Rock, where my daughter got christened there. So I went there, man. I saw the pastor that when I first met him years ago with my first wife. There was something in him that I saw, like this guy right here. He's sincere. He's real. I couldn't really explain it. When I looked in his eyes, I could feel his spirit. I know he was the truth, right? That's part of the discernment gift that I have from God.
Yeah.
And I went back there and I saw him. I said, hey, man, who do I hang around, And he pointed me to some of the elders, my friends today. I still fellowship with the church, but it's in Little Rock.
Yeah.
But I started hanging out with them, going to Bible studies, reading Bible studies, just learning church etiquette, and, trying to learn who God wants me to be and all that type of stuff, man. And I used to study like 7 years ago. I haven't studied. I still read a daily Bible, but I don't study because I don't go to Bible study.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you how strong God's word is. Everything that I learned is still in me. It's still strong. So what happens is when I have these appointments like this right here, it comes out.
Yeah.
It's like well, not the revelation, but he just brings it out.
Yeah.
And I know because I'm listening to it like I'm telling you. I'm listening to my voice as if I'm another person.
Yeah.
That's how the divine works in this world.
Yeah. Because you're absolutely right. Because you spoke to me with everything that you're saying, and this is part of that connection, man. And to me, I would say healing. It's that healing piece because you know what the other side was, and you know what you did to get here, and it's like I'm not going back. I can't go back.
To be honest, man, I didn't do anything. God did everything. He gets the glory.
Yeah.
I can't take no credit for it. And he delivered me from Egypt. And like you just said, I'm not going back to Egypt.
Yeah.
Like the Israelites, he delivered. He showed them all those miracles. They still got in the desert, start complaining. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't complaining. I'm grateful and thankful every day. And I tell him that I am. Now, as far as the connection between me and you, it has nothing to do with that. It's the spirit, bro. We got the same spirit.
So what do
Otherwise,
you mean by that? Tell me more about the spirit.
Well, you know, when we get married, God wants us to be equally yoked with our wives. That means she has to believe the same things we believe in. We have to have the same motive and goal and spirit because there's a spirit and there's a flesh.
Yeah.
And everybody don't have the same spirit because you know you can walk up to certain people, not even know them, start a conversation, and the conversation just grows, and then there's some people you talk to, a few words, it just dies out. And it wasn't a harsh conversation. It's just that unfamiliar spirit, bro.
Yeah.
You can't connect. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Yeah.
me, the spirit bears witness, and I recognize people, spirits, when I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
And then it just makes it easy. And then too, like I say, they were all appointments designed by him. And he said, well, you know, I want you and this person to fellowship today. Or
Yeah.
hear what this person has to say.
Yeah.
I need you to hear something. That person is getting used. Like I say, that's why I say be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. That's James 1:19. The reason you want to be quick to listen because you want to hear the message. If somebody, God is using somebody, you will know, they won't know. Whatever you're going through. Slow to speak, same reason, and slow to wrath. Wrath means anger. So like I talked about anger, when you get angry, it puts you in darkness, bro. You can't see in the dark. You gotta stay in the light, because that's where the truth is. That's where the truth is, man. So just strive. Just ask God, man, whatever it is he wants to use you for, just let him do it.
Yeah.
Because we all got different journeys and assignments,
Yes, sir.
you know?
Yes, sir.
Everybody's different. We're all flawed. So ain't no sense in looking at somebody thinking they're perfect. Nah,
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah.
So that can eliminate judging. Sometimes I do that and I gotta repent. We can judge evil, but
Yeah.
we're not the judge, man.
Yeah.
On no levels. So I'm kind of sensitive and conscious of that,
Yeah.
and just trying to grow and learn, man. That's about it, and finish this race because I really want to stop working here. It's kind of come to the end.
Yeah.
God's not done with me yet, and I don't want to lean on my own understanding because that's really what I'm doing. Because not that I'm getting discouraged, but I'm probably getting distracted a little bit from the enemy because I'm seeing the finish line. The finish line is really like about 4 or 5 months from now.
Yeah.
On a perfect scale.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about just stopping now. But you know what? Nah. I'm just talking out loud, sharing it with you, confessing it to you. But nah, I'm gonna finish the race, man.
That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you, man.
I'm gonna finish the race,
100%.
man. And you too, bro.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
listen. I'm gonna go around. I gotta go.